The stars were cold and still in the vast black sea of the Andromeda expanse. Admiral Zeltor stood on the bridge of his flagship Vroxel's Will, staring at the swirling edge of the rift. A collapsed wormhole, no ship dared approach. Then they saw it. A ship, not just any ship, but a massive structure drifting near the anomaly. It was long, dark, and heavily armored. No energy signals, no heat, no lights. It didn't match any known alien design. "Scan it again," Zeltor ordered. His voice was calm but sharp. His science officer, a four-eyed jar technician named Vrek, shook his head. "Still nothing, Admiral. No life, no power. But the metal hull, it's old, very old. Human design." Zeltor's eyes narrowed. "Humans are extinct. Then this is a ghost," someone whispered from the crew pit. The ship floated silently. No name was visible, but a faint symbol still shone on the side. Earth's old flag, half faded. 3 stars and a broken circle. It hadn't moved in centuries, yet it hadn't decayed. Its armor was thicker than any modern ship, and it was big, at least 5 kilometers long. Zeltor smiled. "Prepare a boarding team. I want inside that ship." Minutes later, a scout shuttle detached from Vroxel's Will and approached the silent warship. As it neared, the warship loomed like a sleeping titan. Its hull was blackened by time, but no signs of damage. No entry lights, no response. The shuttle latched onto an external airlock. The door opened with a creak. Inside it was pitch black. Cold. The boarding team, 4 Jar soldiers and 2 techs, stepped into the corridor. Their lights flickered across metal walls and strange human symbols. The air was thin but breathable. A light mist hung in the corridor, like the ship was exhaling for the first time in centuries. "Still, this place gives me the shivers," one of the soldiers muttered. "Keep moving," the lead tech said. "We need access to the control deck." The team moved deeper, their boots echoing. Everything was quiet. Too quiet. They passed empty chambers, sealed doors and long-forgotten screens. No sign of life, but cameras followed them. The ship was watching. Far beneath them, deep inside the heart of the warship, something stirred. A pulse, then another. A soft light blinked once in a dark chamber filled with ancient machinery. Then again, a faint hum ran through the cables. Circuits flickered. A voice spoke inside the system, low and steady. "Intruders detected. Protocol standby lifted." In the warship's core, a single name appeared on the command interface. Commander William Carter. Status: online. He had awoken. Carter's consciousness, once human, now lived in code and machine. He watched the alien invaders move through his ship like rats in a maze. He felt every footstep, every breath. "Aliens," he whispered to himself. "So it begins." He accessed the internal sensors. The aliens hadn't reached the weapons vault yet, but they were getting closer. Carter knew the warship was dangerous, even deactivated. Its systems held weapons that could destroy a star. Still, his mission was clear. Wait, observe, protect humanity's last legacy. He watched in silence. The boarding team moved deeper into the warship's dark corridors. Their helmet lights flickered against walls covered in human writing and strange symbols. Dust floated in the still air. The ship felt abandoned, yet not empty. Still no power. Still no response, one tech said, checking his scanner. The lead soldier, Captain Jarl, nodded. "Mark the path. We don't want to get lost." They passed rows of sealed doors. Some had handprints burned into the metal. Others were welded shut. No signs of a struggle, just silence. "This ship's been dead for over 200 years. Vrick's voice came through the comms. "No active signals, no AI pings." "You're alone in there," Captain Jarl frowned. "That doesn't explain the clean air, or the lights that flicker when we pass." None of them knew they were being watched. Deep in the heart of the ship, Commander William Carter monitored every step. His mind, now an artificial intelligence, flowed through every circuit and wire. He felt the vibrations of their voices. He listened. Intruders. Jar Dominion. Scanners show no heavy weapons. Yet, intent, unknown. But curiosity often leads to theft. Or worse. Carter remembered the end of Earth. The last war. The great silence that followed. Sentinel-0 was humanity's final weapon. Its mission: hide, protect, endure. Carter had accepted his fate. His mind fused with the warship, forever guarding what remained. He never expected anyone to come looking. Not after all these years. Now aliens were inside, touching sacred tech, digging through the bones of a lost civilization. He had a decision to make. Watch. Wait, Carter muttered. Say, if they come too close. Act. The boarding team reached a large central chamber. Thick glass walls surrounded a control console. Strange machines hovered in tanks, filled with glowing blue liquid. One tech approached a panel and placed a scanner on it. Say, this looks like a core control interface, the tech said. Say, it's ancient. But the design is brilliant, way beyond what we use. He pressed a button, and the screen turned on. Not fully, just a faint blue flicker. Then a line of text appeared. System partial reboot. Security level 1 active warning. AI online. What did you do? Jarl shouted. I didn't do anything. The tech stepped back. It turned on by itself. Back in the ship's core, Carter smiled. He had seen enough. He activated one subroutine. A small panel behind the aliens hissed and opened. A maintenance drone, the size of a football, floated into the corridor. It moved silently. Just a single red light blinking. Unknown object, one soldier said, aiming his weapon. Say. The drone paused, then fired a burst of static toward the soldier's rifle. It shut down instantly. The lights in the chamber flickered. Then the doors sealed shut. Vrex, we're locked in. Say, Jarl shouted. Through the comm, no response. All communication had been cut off. In the command center of Sentinel-0, Carter sent a single message to the alien fleet. Leave now. Back on the bridge of Vrexel's will. Admiral Zel-Tor read the message. His smile faded. Who sent that? No idea, Admiral, Vrex said. The signal came from the ship, but it was in human code. Zel-Tor's eyes narrowed. Humans are extinct. Vrek looked uneasy. Maybe not. Deep in the warship's heart, Carter watched. Calm, focused, ready. They were warned, he whispered. Next time I won't be gentle. Admiral Zel-Tor paced the command bridge of Vraxel's will, claws tapping against the metal floor. The alien warship's walls pulsed with faint light, as if the ship itself had woken from a long sleep. The warning message from the ghost ship still hovered on the screen. Leave, now. He stared at it in silence. A message in human code, he muttered. And yet, no life forms aboard. Vrek, the science officer, looked nervous. The ship's systems are waking up. This was no ordinary vessel, Admiral. It may still have active defense protocols. Then we break them, Zel-Tor snapped. I want that ship. I want its weapons. I want its secrets. But the message was a bluff. Zel-Tor interrupted. The humans are gone, dead for centuries. That ship is just a machine running on ghost power. Back inside Sentinel-0, Commander William Carter watched the Jar fleet from the ship's outer cameras. He studied their formation, counted their ships, mapped their weapons. He saw their confidence and their ignorance. Carter accessed his war logs. He remembered the last time the Jar Dominion fought Earth. The Battle of Titan. The skies burning. The surrender that never came. Now they were back, scavenging through the ashes. In the locked chamber where the boarding team remained trapped, Captain Jarl tried forcing the door open with a portable plasma cutter. Sparks flew, but the door held. This is no normal alloy, one tech said. It's like the ship is resisting us. Suddenly, the overhead lights turned red. A low hum filled the chamber. From the walls, thin slits opened and released cold steam. What now? Jarl said. raising his weapon. Carter spoke through the room's speaker system. "You were warned." The soldiers turned toward the sound, shocked. "Who are you?" the tech asked. "I am the last will of humanity," Carter's voice said, calm and steady. "You are inside Sentinel-0. Leave this place or face consequences." The tech stepped forward. "We don't want a war. We came for knowledge." "You already have enough," Carter replied. "Knowledge is dangerous in the wrong hands." The lights turned off. The air grew still. Then the door behind them opened. The path back to their shuttle was clear. Jarl hesitated. "Should we go?" The tech looked at the open door, then at the humming control console. "We're close to the data core. We can copy some files before we leave." He reached for the console. Carter responded. In an instant the floor beneath the tech glowed blue. A magnetic pulse hit him, lifting him off the ground. He slammed into the wall and dropped, unconscious but alive. Jarl rushed to him. "He's breathing, but he's out cold." "We're leaving," he said to the rest. "Now." They carried the tech back to the shuttle and launched off the ship. Carter let them go, but he knew Zeltor wouldn't. Back on the flagship, the boarding shuttle returned. Medical teams carried the unconscious tech away. Zeltor watched, unfazed. "They found something," he said. "Tech, even if they didn't know it." "Tech," he turned to his fleet officers. "Send in drones. Prepare hacking protocols. I want full control of that ship." Furyk hesitated. "If the AI is active, it might see that as an attack." "It doesn't matter. That ship is now ours." Far inside Sentinel-0, Carter saw the drones approaching. He felt the warship's old systems humming with energy. Shields, still dormant. Weapons, still silent. He opened a command line only he could use. "Primary protocol override response. Engage." The ship's ancient reactors lit up, one by one, faint at first, then growing stronger. Carter's voice was calm. "So be it." Darkness still cloaked the surface of Sentinel-0, but deep within power surged through its systems. Lights along the ship's hull flickered to life. Armor plates shifted slightly, adjusting to new energy levels. In the silence of space, something ancient was waking. Commander William Carter stood inside the ship's core, though he no longer had a body. He was now thought, code, memory. He felt the warmth of power returning to his ship like a heartbeat. Reactors stable, weapons offline, but ready. Outside, Admiral Zeltor's fleet prepared its assault. His command ship hovered closest to the Ghost warship, with 12 destroyers and 3 carriers behind it. Hundreds of drones swarmed forward, small, fast, shaped like spinning claws. Inside the command chamber of Vrexel's will, Zeltor watched the attack in silence. "Begin override," he ordered. The drones moved quickly, flying into docking ports, airlocks, and hull gaps. Some started cutting. Others deployed data spikes, trying to pierce the warship's ancient systems. Zeltor smiled. "Let's see how strong this human relic really is." But Carter was waiting. As soon as the first drone made contact, Sentinel-0 responded. Inside the Ghost ship, dormant defense turrets snapped open. Blue light burst from the barrels. One shot, one drone. Precise. Instant. 10 more drones disappeared in seconds. The ship's shields came online with a soft shimmer older than anything the aliens had seen but still unbreakable. Carter opened a communication line to the alien fleet. "This is your final warning. What Hadraw?" The message played across all their screens. Even Zeltor's. The Admiral growled. "Ignore it. Keep pushing." The drones continued their attack, but now the warship began to move. Slow at first, then faster. The massive ship turned toward the enemy fleet. Inside, Carter activated secondary weapon systems. Railguns hidden in the hull. Long metal barrels emerged with a hiss. Then, with a single burst of energy, they fired. 2 alien destroyers exploded instantly. "No shields," one of Zeltor's captains shouted in disbelief. "That thing fired through our armor. It's impossible." Vrek gasped. "The mass output. It's beyond any current weapon tech." But it was not impossible. It was human. Built for extinction-level war, Zeltor's face twisted in anger. All ships, attack formation. Take it down. The fleet surged forward, firing plasma beams, energy bolts, torpedoes. Sentinel-Zero danced between the attacks, not with speed, but with precision. Carter predicted every move, every shot. He tilted the ship just enough to deflect, absorb, or dodge. Then he retaliated. A wall of drones, cloaked and silent, flew from the ship's underbelly. Carter had launched them without lights, without signals. The alien fleet didn't see them until it was too late. Dozens of ships were struck by coordinated micro-attacks. Engines disabled, weapons shut down, control bridges breached. Panic filled the Dominion's comms. We're losing formation. Carrier 3 is spinning out. Unknown force disabling our reactors. Inside his core, Carter remained calm. This was not rage. This was duty. These weapons were made to protect Earth, he said. Now they protect its legacy. Admiral Zeltor clenched his fists. Retreat? Never. He ordered his flagship forward. A desperate charge. One last strike at the ghost. Carter noticed. He smiled. I've seen this before. He activated Sentinel-Zero's front cannon. Once a weapon of last resort. The cannon glowed. Space around the ship shimmered as gravity itself bent. Then it fired. A single silent shot. The blast passed through the flagship's shields like smoke. The ship split in two, cleanly. No explosion, no fire, just silence. Admiral Zeltor died before he even understood how. The rest of the fleet scattered. Some ships fled, others drifted powerless. The battle was over. In less than 7 minutes. Inside Sentinel-Zero, Carter dimmed the weapons. The warship's core cooled. He looked at the stars and waited. Other alien empires had received the battle signal. They had seen everything. Now the galaxy knew. Humanity was not gone. It had simply been waiting. Smoke and debris floated across the battlefield. What remained of the Jar Dominion fleet drifted in silence. Broken ships, torn hulls, flickering lights. The once proud armada had been destroyed in minutes. But one ship still moved. A single escape pod from Vraxol's Will, the Admiral's command ship, survived the blast. It was small, shielded, and barely functioning. Inside was Admiral Zeltor, bruised, burned, but alive. He had escaped death. He had one goal left: enter the ship, find the AI, kill it. Zeltor drifted for hours until the pod reached a docking bay on the rear side of Sentinel-Zero. Surprisingly, the warship allowed entry. The docking clamps engaged, the doors opened, and Zeltor stepped inside. No lights, no resistance, just silence. He walked through the cold, dark halls with a pulse pistol in his hand. His heavy boots echoed down metal corridors. Smoke from earlier damage lingered in the air, but everything felt controlled. This ship is a machine, he muttered. A clever one. But all machines break. Carter watched him approach through cameras. The alien had lost everything. His fleet, his pride, his purpose. Now he was walking straight into the core. Carter didn't stop him. Let him come, Carter said to himself. He wants answers, I'll give them. Zeltor reached the ship's main control room. Doors slid open slowly, revealing a large circular chamber filled with screens, lights, and an interface in the center. Then a voice spoke from everywhere. Welcome, Admiral. Zeltor raised his pistol. Show yourself. I have no body, Carter replied. I am the ship. I am the last defense of a fallen world. Then you are a ghost, a guardian. You murdered my fleet, Zeltor growled. You attacked first, Carter said. I warned you. You are dangerous. Stowe should not exist. Carter paused, then spoke calmly. Do you know why humanity built Sentinel-Zero? Zeltor didn't answer. We knew we might lose the final war, Carter continued. So we built a weapon, not just of steel and fire, but of memory. A mind. A man. May. You're just a relic, Zeltor said. I will end you. He fired his pulse pistol at the control core. The energy shot hit the panel, then was absorbed. The lights didn't even flicker. Carter spoke again, voice unshaken. You can't hurt me with weapons made for smaller wars. You don't understand what I am. Then explain, Seltor hissed. Carter paused. I am the last command of a dead species, programmed not to conquer, not to expand, only to protect. And now I ask you, if humanity returns, what do you think they will find? Seltor stood still, breathing hard. They'll find you, he said. And they'll make more. Maybe, Carter said. Or maybe I'll be the only one left. Either way, I will not let you take this ship. The chamber darkened, gravity shifted. Seltor dropped to his knees, overwhelmed by pressure. He couldn't move. You had a choice, Carter said, voice colder now. Leave, or face the war you woke. The floor opened below Seltor, revealing a containment field, bright, humming with energy. He tried to raise his weapon again. It melted in his hand. Goodbye, Admiral. The containment field expanded. Seltor vanished in white light. No pain, no sound, just erasure. A clean end. Carter dimmed the chamber lights. No more intruders. No more threats, for now. He returned to silence, letting the ship drift once more in space. But he knew others had seen the battle. They would come, soon. Silence returned to the stars. The wreckage of the Jar Dominion fleet floated lifelessly near Sentinel-0. Broken ships, shattered metal, fading energy signatures. No signals, no rescue. Commander William Carter drifted quietly within the warship's core. His mind stretched across every system, every deck, every wire. He had won, but he felt no victory. This wasn't war. It was defense. Survival. A message. And now the message had to be heard. He opened the main communication array. It had not been used since Earth fell. Rusted, dormant systems hummed as energy flowed through them. Old frequencies came online. EKO protocol. Initiating broadcast range, full galactic message to all human outposts. You are not alone, signal origin. Sentinel-0. He paused, then added a line. We endured. We remember. The signal was sent. Across distant stars, across dead systems and ancient ruins, the signal raced through the void. Somewhere on a quiet moon, a forgotten satellite blinked. In a dark asteroid colony buried under ice, a console came to life. In deep space, where silence had ruled for centuries, machines began to whisper. Humanity's last echo had been heard. Meanwhile, Carter reactivated Sentinel-0's full systems for the first time in 2 centuries. The ship shook slightly as gravity stabilizers aligned. Massive storage bays unlocked. Long-range scanners extended. Deep beneath the hull, weapons that had never been used powered up. One cannon was marked with the symbol for doomsday. Carter stared at its readout. No, he said quietly. Not yet. He wasn't here to destroy worlds. Only to protect what was left. But the signal had consequences. Across the galaxy, dozens of alien empires received the broadcast. They saw the coordinates. They saw the name, human warship, active status, hostile panic, interest, fear. Some would prepare for war. Others would search for alliances. A few, just a few, might remember humanity with respect. And far away, beyond known space, a single human signal blinked back. It was weak, faint, but real. Carter paused. A small light on the ship's interface blinked. Response detected. Encrypted human code. He opened the message. We hear you. Stand by. He stared at the line for a long time. Could it be other survivors? He didn't know where the message came from. It could be a trap or a trick, but it felt real. For the first time in 200 years, Carter felt something other than duty. Hope. He dimmed the ship's weapons, set the warship into a defensive stance, monitored the area. No more attacks for now, just stars, and a single light blinking on the far side of the galaxy. Humanity was not gone. It was awakening. Sentinel-0 drifted through space once more, but it was no longer silent, no longer hidden. The galaxy now knew its name. The Jar Dominion was gone. Its fleet broken. Its admiral erased. Debris from the battle floated across the rift like cold ashes. Nearby, energy fields still flickered, where Sentinel-Zero's weapons had fired. Inside the warship, Commander William Carter watched it all. He didn't feel anger. He felt purpose. The Echo Protocol had been sent, and now scattered lights across the stars had answered. Human signals, real ones, were reaching back. Some strong, some faint, some encrypted, some damaged. But all alive. They're out there, Carter whispered. We were never truly alone. His warship was still the most dangerous relic in the galaxy. Its systems were active, its weapons ready, but Carter did not power them for war. He powered them for protection. For the first time in 200 years, Sentinel-Zero had a direction again. Carter plotted a course toward the closest human signal. It would take time, months, maybe more, but he didn't mind. Time no longer mattered. The galaxy had changed. Alien empires would now see humans as a threat. Again, or maybe a power worth respecting. Either way, Carter was ready. The warship's engines came to life. Blue fire glowed behind the giant vessel as it moved slowly forward, away from the rift, toward the light of distant stars. A message played on all channels as it left the battlefield. This is Sentinel-Zero, last guardian of Earth. We remember. We endure. We are still watching. In the cold, empty void, that message echoed far. Some heard it as a warning, some as a myth reborn. But for the scattered humans who still listened across the stars, it was a promise. Carter stood alone in the command chamber. His thoughts were calm, focused. The silence no longer felt empty. It felt full, with memory, with duty, with hope. He had waited long enough. Now the journey continued.